the time of ancient Greeks to run 1 mile in 4 minutes. They tried everything to the extent that the Greek people used to let lions chase runners to make them run faster. But nothing worked. It was physiologically impossible for a human being to run this distance in 4 minutes. They had many reasons, like wind resistance, insufficient lung power, and the structure of the human bones. But one day, one person, one single human being was able to prove that the athletes, the trainers, the runners were all wrong. A miracle happened when Mr. Roger Bannister was able to break the 4-minute mile. Then, a year later, 37 runners did the same thing. What happened? There were not breakthroughs in training. The human bone structure didn't improve suddenly, but Bannister believed in himself when nobody else did. Fellow Toastmasters, dear guests, believe in yourself even if no one else does. If you don't have a destination, you will never get there. Bannister had a goal to achieve. But what's the goal? A goal is a dream with a deadline. Write down your dreams, because this is the only way you will substantiate them to force you to realize these dreams. One of the very striking examples of long-term goals comes from the 88-year-old president of the Matsushita Electric Japanese company. He was interviewed in 1983, and the interviewer asked him, "Mr. President, do you have long-term plans?" He said, "Yes." He asked him, "How long are your plans?" He said, 250 years. He said, "Mr. President, what do you do to realize them?" He said, "Patience." It sounds like a joke, but if it's so funny, why Japanese are always overcoming their competition all over the world? Everybody has to have a goal, and every company has to have a goal. But goals don't need to be very elaborate or very trivial. They just have to be realistic. Knowing what to do is not enough if you have not developed the self-discipline to carry them out. I have heard about a headmaster who was able to recognize the names of his 1,000 students. He didn't have any extraordinary gift of memory. He just used the same trick he was using when he studied Latin in high school. He used to lock himself in his room every night for a week, drilling himself using handmade flashcards. Instead of Amos, Amas on one side, and I love, you love, he loves on the other side, he has the pictures of his students on one side and their names on the other side. It took the time to do that. But most of us will waste time without consideration of the importance of this. Fellow Toastmasters, dear guests, have you fantasized recently? Fantasizing is one of the important things to set personal goals. A very vivid example is athletes. An athlete waiting to kick the field goal in a match where everybody is watching will approach the ball, making hundreds of adjustments in his mind to compile a mental image that he has seen before many times since his childhood. His picture kicking the winning goal. Athletes seem to have a common thing. They can project things. They can see things happening split seconds before they happen. Human survival itself has a special kind of future vision, where a human being under certain odd situation will be able to visualize himself in a very healthy, creative position. one story about the survivors of concentration camps come from a successful psychiatrist in Vienna who was captured by the Nazis and sent to the concentration camp. They interviewed him. He said, "The only reason I am here, the only reason I am living now is because of you. When everybody else gave up hope, I dreamed. I dreamed that one day I will stand in front of you and tell you my story." Fellow Toastmasters, keep fantasizing. Nothing is greater to one than one's self. The next time somebody calls you an egotistic, one-way, selfish person, don't forget to thank him, because he has given you an endorsement of your mental health. Why we are not proud about the things we have done and the things we think we can do? If you look at the athletes, they all, the athletes or the businessmen who are very successful, every one of those thinks he is a hero, even if he doesn't shout it from rooftops. It appears on the face. The basketball scouts call it the good face, the sense of self-confidence that radiates from winners. So, fellow Toastmasters, believe in yourself and be proud of yourself. The Toastmasters experience we are living here is one of the important, great things in life that makes us believe in ourselves. One of the companies that teaches speech making has a very peculiar advertisement. They say there are 2 times in life when you are really alone: before you die and just before you make a speech. When you make a presentation in front of civic or professional groups, you are getting a lot of public recognition and publicity for yourself and your company. It's good for your business, but this is not the only reason you do it. Because the real reason you are doing this, that the skills we learn in Toastmasters to overcome the terror of standing in public and spilling our guts will carry over into the rest of our lives. We will gain self-confidence and assertiveness, which will allow us to be better human beings, better leaders, and better persons. So, fellow Toastmasters, don't quit Toastmasters. If you want to accomplish your goal, you have to set it. Who says you are not tougher, stronger, more hardworking, and more able than your competition? It doesn't matter if everybody says you cannot do it. What really matters, the only thing that matters, is if you say it. Bannister, we all believed in the experts, but Mr. Bannister believed in himself and changed the world. So, if you believe in yourself well, you can accomplish anything you want. So, don't quit. Don't ever quit, Mr. Toastmaster.